This is a 2018 Nissan Murano, and I'd like to showcase some features as they relate to locking and unlocking the doors. We'll start with the basics. Like many other vehicles, the Nissan Murano has manual locks, which means I can unlock each door, each individual door, and then we've got power locks, or electric locks as they called them back in the day, which is usually combined with remote locks, which means that you have some sort of a switch, button, remote, or anything, and basically from a distance you can lock and unlock your door without manually having to touch the door locks themselves, right? And then we have another step to that, which is called central locking, which means that instead of unlocking the door at each individual point like that, I can operate the door locks from one central point, which is here, and all the other doors can lock and unlock. Both front doors have the central locking feature. The ones on the other side, they only have manual locks. They don't really have power locks in the rear, okay? And that's pretty cool. Then we have another level to this, which is called automatic locking. Something that's become, it's safety related, and maybe in the past 10-15 years or so, that's when Japanese automakers have started adapting that. At least Nissan didn't seem like they did it way before 2008 or so. And what that is that, so you have all your doors unlocked, right? But then at a certain speed, your doors should lock. It's usually a safety feature, and I think somebody sat in a room and said, hey, let's do an experiment. What's that speed that we think it's now unsafe to have the doors remaining unlocked? So 20 miles an hour. And what I'm going to do is drive until 20 miles an hour and try to show that that is going to lock itself at 20. Put it in drive and then go. Okay, I hope you're able to see that. At 20 miles an hour, it did the door the door lock came on. And now that you've locked them, you need to figure out how you're going to unlock them. In this vehicle, our feature right now, what we've programmed it to do, is that the doors will unlock when you turn off the vehicle, like this. Let's turn it off. And you saw the lock unlocking, right? And I think that makes more sense, at least for my situation and our arrangement, but that might be a little annoying to some people. I mean, it's not too hard to operate the locks, but I guess if you want to take that convenience feature to the next level, you might want to change the setting. Or maybe you want to turn off this whole setting. So this is what you do. Number one is that let's start the car again. And I'll take you to the settings feature. And I'll use these buttons over here to navigate. Settings, okay. Vehicle settings, locking, automatic door unlocking, which is what we're talking about. And as you can see, the orange is where we're currently set right now. We're set into it that the door unlocks when the ignition is off. We might want to change that though. We might want to make it in such a way that maybe you're operating an Uber or some form of a taxi, so that whenever you stop and you put it in park, the doors unlock. Or, dropping kids off in school. I don't know. Whatever situation makes sense for your family. So let me put it into this other shift into park setting, and you'll see how that functions. Okay, so in this case, what happens is that whenever the doors lock and then you shift it into park, the doors at that point should unlock. It doesn't have to wait for you to turn off the car in case you're listening to music or whatever reason it makes that feature inconvenient at that point. So let's drive it up to 20 again and lock it. Okay. The locking happened. And so now we're going to just put it in park and see what that does. They unlocked. So that's the other feature. But then this is what you'll have to notice at this point, because, and I guess it happens for both settings, whenever you put it in drive, at least the way Nissan does it, it's not going to lock itself again. In fact, it's not going to do it either. Even if I get back up to speed, I need to find a way to lock it again, because this is not a automatic lock feature. It's an automatic unlock feature. At least that's the way Nissan intended for their feature to work, right? So as you can see, we've gotten up to speed and it hasn't locked itself again. The door is still unlocked. So it's something I just like to mention, just so that you're aware. If it's a safety thing, you know, at least you know that that feature is not going to work for you that way. As I said, there it is. And in this case, I'm gonna, just to test this a little further, lock it, put it in drive, then put it in park. Then it unlocks. Did you see that? The unlocking happens whenever you get into park. It just, as long as the door was locked, it's going to unlock itself. Okay, so you've seen how that works. What if we don't even like any one of those features and well, I went to wipers. What if we don't like either one of those features and we don't want the door to unlock at all? So this is what we do. Take it to off. And in this case, what happens is that whenever I lock, well, I'm not going to lock it. I think I'll be able to get up to speed. Let me do this. Okay, well, it's not going to lock. I need to manually lock it. The getting to speed, or rather the automatic locking part, happens whenever you've turned off the car and turn it back on. That's when it's going to automatically lock itself. So let's go ahead and just lock it manually. Okay, and as I said, getting up to speed in this case is useless, but I'm still going to do it anyway. Okay, and then, now watch what happens. Let me put it in park. Does not unlock. Let me turn it off. Does not unlock either. The locks just stayed on the way they were. So this might be a consideration for people that, depending on your safety arrangements, depending on where you live and all those things, maybe it makes more sense for you to not unlock the doors at all until you are ready to get out, at which point you unlock that one door that you need, or you could unlock all the other doors. But if you're doing this for kids, maybe you want to unlock only yours, then walk around and open the other door for whoever it is you're unlocking for. Okay, so I think that was mainly what I wanted to show you, but I'm going to put it back to the other setting that I prefer.